Sam Spinelli, your real estate guy, sitting here with Luke Homan, and it's Homan, right?
It's Homan.
Okay. And the purpose of meeting with Luke is to talk about his small business as a small business owner, and to pick his brain a little bit, and also to get his cause out there. As a small business owner, there's always a lot of different things that happen in any given day, and Luke's business is actually very cool. So Luke, could you tell us just a little bit about the business and how it started?
Yeah, so I started out of my home office in Sunnyvale, right on the corner. And what we do is we help companies solve problems through games and game theory. So we design a genre of games called serious games. And they're not quite like the fun games you play,
Okay.
but there's the notion that I'm collaborating with other people and we're working to solve a problem. And so we've helped a number of clients, both in the Bay Area and around the globe, solve problems like how do I prioritize a product portfolio, or how do I develop a product roadmap for a technology product through these collaborative games. And the cause that you mentioned is a few years ago, I was on a plane with some executives from San Jose, and they were talking about some of the problems that they had in prioritizing the city budget.
Okay.
And just out of the blue, without really thinking about it, because sometimes it's better to jump and then grab a parachute.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially when you're playing.
I said we can help, because we help companies solve those kinds of problems. And so what's become the cause of the company is helping citizens engage with their government, or more broadly, helping a community engage to improve the community.
Okay.
And one way that we're doing that in Sunnyvale, which is pretty exciting, is at Sunnyvale Middle School.
Okay, yeah.
Through the PTA, we actually give the kids $1,000.
Wow, that's great.
And the kids are in control of the money. They're completely in control of the money. So they create ideas on how to make the school a better place.
Mm-hmm.
They take those raw ideas, some of them are appropriate, the duck pond maybe not so much, and they sift through the ideas, and then they create the proposals that the students vote on. So the students create the ideas, they shape them into projects, and then they vote on those ideas that make the school a better place. Last year we were really proud of the kids, and what they chose to do was to replace an existing drinking fountain with a new water fountain that can refill water bottles.
That's great.
And all the adults admitted that they wouldn't have thought of that, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's for the kids. Now, in working out the details of the project, it turned out that replacing it wasn't as easy as just putting in a new one.
Okay.
So the school is going to put in a new one for the kids. And then they did some other stuff, like they got some extra paint so that they could paint some new 4 squares on the asphalt and play some games. But this process of getting ideas and shaping them and picking them is important both in business, it's important in government, it's important to teach
Absolutely.
our kids this.
Yeah.
So that's our cause. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and that's wonderful. And one of the things that you showed me earlier was that a citizen, through how you've designed this game, it was a game at one point.
Yes.
Is it still technically a game?
Well, that's a really good question, and you're getting into what is a game?
Sure,
It's
yeah.
a very simple question. What's a game? Well, it turns out that game theorists think that a game has 4 main components, and there's some argument, right? Because the academic people like to argue about stuff, but where there tends to be more agreement is that a game has a goal, something you're trying to achieve.
Okay.
So you can think in soccer, the goal is to score a goal or to win more points.
yeah.
Or in golf, it's trying to hit the ball in the cup. There's a field of play,
Okay.
some place that you do that activity in that's unique and special.
Okay.
So you have 2 boys.
Yeah.
Don't play soccer in the house.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
It's pretty common. Yeah.
Play soccer outside, please. So there's a space of play.
Okay.
There's resources and rules. In soccer you can't touch the ball with the hands, and in golf, you got to hit it with a stick. And what the curious thing about games is that we choose rules that are kind of arbitrary,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Okay, yeah.
No one really there's no natural law that says you have to,
Sure.
hit the ball with a stick. It's
Exactly.
just we choose to.
Yeah.
And then there's a mechanism of keeping score, right? There's some progress indication, if you will. And then the last thing that makes this wrap it up to be a game as opposed to a job is that you choose to do it. It's part of what people want to do. Typically, the more engaged they are and the better performance they have. But it's
Okay.
a really interesting question, like what is a game?
Yeah.
And,
yeah,
and it has
exactly.
those components.
Absolutely, and in what you had shown me earlier, it was really interesting because the format was not a typical format, but it really got the point across.
Right. So what Sam is talking about is in San Jose,
Mm-hmm.
when we get the ideas from the citizens on how to improve the city, it's hard to talk about your ideas. It's
Mhm.
it's hard to say, here's my idea. So what we do is everyone knows what a cereal box is.
Sure.
And so we ask people to design a box that represents their idea and then just talk about it like it were a cereal box.
What project did you choose?
This is for lighting under 87 at San Carlos.
Okay, and what's on your box?
This box represents what it is that we'd like to do. We have 19 lights that need to be replaced with the new LED lights so that they will be brighter. That will cost a small amount of $19,000 to do. Right now, that spot is very dark, and so it discourages people from walking in that area, and we want our city to be more walkable and more walker-friendly. So we would like to see people enjoying that walkway. And $19,000 for 19 lights will do it.
Financial literacy isn't, I need to save money. It's, how do I spend money?
Absolutely.
So,
Spend less, save more. There's a whole dynamic to it, right?
yeah, or make an investment. Like, I remember when we were pitching the project to some of the adults were concerned. They're like, well, what if the kids pick a pizza party?
Mm-hmm.
And my response was, well, if the kids pick a pizza party, first, we put them in control of the money, and they'll probably learn a tough lesson that they had fun and then nothing else happened,
Absolutely, yeah.
as opposed to
That's great.
something more durable. Now, they didn't pick a pizza party,
Mm-hmm.
but the point is...
They had more common sense than the adults.
they-
The adults gave them credit for it.
Yeah, they had more common sense than the adults gave them credit for initially. But that's the point, is that when you give people that kind of opportunity, as a company, is we want to create those opportunities online and at scale for people to work in these ways.
Absolutely. And so, one thing we talked about previously was the drive of a small business owner.
Right.
So, to me, it's you obviously have a drive for it. Your end result, do you have a larger goal overall that drives you forward?
Yeah. So one of the funniest things, and I'm really glad you're doing this interview with small business owners, because one of the greatest, I think, misconceptions in Silicon Valley is if you're a software or tech company in Silicon Valley, you somehow have a pile of VC cash and you've got free lunches and foosball.
Exactly.
Okay, no free lunches, no foosball in our company. However, what gets skewed is, you read our papers and you read, like the San Jose Mercury News, it's all about who got funded or who's doing something that is theoretically cool, but the coolness is defined in a very small way. It's about what the VCs invest in or what things think are cool. And what's getting lost is people like us, the small business people who, we actually have to make money. We
Yeah.
actually have to serve customers and make, have income and grow through that mechanism to materially improve how employees engage with their companies and how citizens engage with their societies. Always inspired by the original goals of Hewlett Packard, right?
Okay.
Which, again, I can't speak to the current structure, but the original founders were always like, look, we're going to make a profit so that we can achieve these higher level goals and we can stay in business. So I have the same kind of approach to my small business is, yeah, we need to make a profit because we can't create those other benefits without a profit, but the goal isn't profit per se. The goal isn't
Gotcha.
like, how do I flip a company or...
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Okay, and that makes perfect sense. Now, how can someone reach out to you, and who would benefit from reaching out to you? Would it be a city? Would it be a company?
Both. So for cities in the Bay Area, we're running a conference next week
Okay, great.
on December 8th and 9th called Engage the Bay. So
Okay.
just www.engagethebay.com.
Okay.
And that's primarily designed for civic leaders, school district leaders, or city officials who would like to engage their citizens more in these processes. And we're holding it at NetApp in Sunnyvale. We're very
Great.
thankful. NetApp is donating the space, and they're donating supplies and foods. We're very thankful for NetApp, and they have a big philanthropic program. And we have additional sponsorship from IBM and from another small business, Watts On, and from Solutions IQ and a winery who's giving us a little wine for Bodegas Aguirre Winery in Livermore, and Solutions IQ, a consulting firm. And they're all helping us run this event. If you're watching this and it's past December 8th and 9th, 2016, everyone can go to everyvoiceengage.org, and that's a 501c3 nonprofit. So I wanted my company to be separate from our nonprofit,
Okay.
because I want to make people comfortable that Every Voice Engaged is nonpartisan. You know,
That's great, yeah.
We don't care if you're Democrat, Republican,
Absolutely.
Tea Party, Libertarian, whatever your preference is. It doesn't really matter if our cities are in debt, right? We've got to find a way to come together and get out of the debt, and also build for the future. And then for the company, they can go to either innovationgames.com to see some of the techniques, or Contenio.co.
Okay. Okay.
.co.
Okay. Excellent. And that's fantastic. So, well, thank you so much for taking the time. I'm going to do everything that I can to get the word out. And thank you so much for taking the time, and thank you for everything that you're doing inside the cities and for the other businesses as well. I think it's fantastic.
Oh, thanks.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, and we're really excited about what we're doing in Sunnyvale Middle School. We hope to expand, and
Absolutely.
it would be great if Sunnyvale got involved.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
So Sunnyvale, let's get involved.
all right, thanks.